Let's grab my crochet. Get settled. Grab your project while we have a talk. Don't mind my minion, he just watches me while I crochet. So my name is Maddie and I've started an Etsy shop today. I launched it. How cool is that? I launched it today and had the lead up to it from the middle of November. And Crosscheted is ultimately a faith-based, faith-inspired crochet shop where I produce products that will, not products, items that will spark conversation. The idea being that each item will have a cross on it. So I've made scarves, bags, gloves. I've got a new creation on the go, as you can see. And it's just so exciting to be able to share that journey with you. So you'll follow me as we enter this Vlogmas season. And make sure that we remember that the reason for the season is Jesus. Yeah, so I thought I'll show you around. Let's go. Well, this is the yarn setup that I have for Croccheted. I just get really excited about showing my yarn, so I thought I'd share it with you. So I've got my little decorations that I've accumulated over the years. I've got a hamster that one of my best friends made me. I've got some gifts from my parents, and I've of course got some Lego. Got to love some Lego. So anyway, let's get into it. So over here I have some yarn that I'm making Christmas presents with. I can't tell you what they are, for obvious reasons. Then I've got my greens and blue yarn. I've got my purple and pink yarn. I've got my multicoloured or variegated yarn. Down here I've got some stuff to sort out. I'll sort that out together. I've got some whites, blacks, greys, creams, browns. So that's chock full. Then I've got my whips in here, which we'll explain in another video. And then I've got some beautiful colours of specific yarn that I can't use in any other project. So I've got to figure out what to use that for. And then I've got a box full of notions. That's a new word. I didn't know notions existed until last week. A box full of all the notions, all the apparatus, things that I need to use for crocheting. I've got needles, I've got a yarn winder, I've got safety eyes, measuring tape, you know, all those important things. And then let's take you over here. So here was originally my bookshelf when I was at university, but I've now changed it to my storage. So I've got my little items here. I've got my big items across over here, all packaged up, ready to go from my Etsy shop. And then down here, I've got my crochet books and then my packaging. And then up here is where I store the current project that I'm working on, which I will explain why I've got so many granny squares. Then I have my seating space, which was actually our sofa when I was at university. Now we've got a real sofa, I get to have this as my crochet nook, which is really cool. And then in the background you've got my tapestry that I designed. It's based on Psalm 121. I look up to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the maker of heaven and earth. So that's one of my favourite. And so I decided and was inspired to make it into a tapestry that I made up as I went along. I'd never done tapestry before. I'd never designed anything like it before. And so I went in and did a very difficult pattern by myself. But it's beautiful and I love it. And I would love to make tapestry more again, inspired by Bible verses, Bible passages. But yeah, that's who I am, what Croccheted is, and my crochet space. Now let me show you what I've made so far. So I've been prepping for the launch of my Etsy shop since the beginning of November. So let's show you what I've made so far. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Bye!